Hey, what's up, you guys? Tag here, or Brandon, and today it is early again in the morning. It is currently 6:30 in the morning, and well, today's agenda for day 3, we'll be hitting Animal Kingdom. So I'll see you guys when we get to the park. I'm actually gonna go downstairs and eat breakfast. So I'll see you guys at Animal Kingdom.
Fall into you.
This is a nice spot.
Oh, it's a nice view.
You get a better view if you take it down going that way.
Oh, the lily flowers.
Hey, there's a turtle right there.
Right there. Oh, there's a turtle? Where?
Right there.
I don't see it.
It's right there, the black one.
Oh, I
Brandon.
see it.
You're camouflaging, y'all still can't see it.
turtle?
Yeah?
That doesn't look like turtle.
Are you
It's
trying
turtle.
to...
It won't jump out at us. We're too high.
Lotus tree. It's very pretty.
We do have a black rhinoceros. He's going to be a solitary male. He will only meet up about once a month or so for a date night. He's fully grown at about 3,000 pounds, and he has a pointy upper lip, which is also prehensile. So we said that the okapi had a prehensile tongue, and the rhino has a prehensile lip. Well, that just basically means finger-like, so they use it to help pull leaves and branches closer to them to be able to eat more efficiently. The black rhino, actually all rhinos, will have those horns on their head, and they're made out of keratin, the same thing our fingernails and hair are made out of. And they really don't have any natural predator in the wild, only humans who poach them for those horns. On the left-hand side, just in that very, very back tree line, you can see 2 of those black and white birds. Those are called saddle-billed stork. They are going to stand at about 5 feet tall, have a wingspan of approximately 9 feet wide, which is about the width of your canopy above your head. We find 2 of them because they are a type of bird that mates for life, but they are very territorial. They do not share their territory with any other saddle-billed storks, but they're solitary as well. They don't like to spend a lot of time kind of love birding it up and hanging out and cuddling with each other. They do things most on their own. We're going to head here into the Safi River, and on the right-hand side you can see a Nile hippopotamus. If you're on the left-hand side, don't worry too much. There's another water source down below on the left. So the Nile hippopotamus is a nocturnal animal. It spends all day in the water, coming up for breaths every 6 to 8 minutes. And the reason it spends all day in water is because it regulates its body temperature that way. Getting a little bit too hot out on dry land during daylight hours, it will leave its water source at night, traveling anywhere from 5 to 10 miles away, eating about 80 to 90 pounds of vegetation, being fully grown at about 5,500 pounds, but sometimes females will weigh about 4,500 pounds. This hippo here on our left-hand side, this is our female group, our bloat of hippos. That's what we call a group of hippos. And she's actually a mother. She is going to be named Tuba, and we do not know if her baby is male or female. It is her 4th baby, and all of her other ones have been male, so fingers crossed for a female. It's about 5 weeks old. It was born at about 50 to 100 pounds. Those gray birds with those long bills are going to be pinked-back pelican. They are going to be colonial nesters, so they gather in anywhere from 20 to 500 pair. Could be up to 1,000 birds in one mating ground. And they get their name from their mating season. Their backs will turn a bright pink color underneath their wings. Head over this bridge, pole, and we find some fierce animals here on the left-hand side, the Nile crocodile. You can see one of them sitting there with their mouth open, kind of looking a little bit scary. That's called gaping. Gaping just allows them to regulate their body temperature. So they're going to be fully grown at about 2,000 pounds. Going to be fully grown at about 500, 600 pounds, anywhere from 18 to 20 feet long, and they have a bite force of 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch, which is the strongest bite force of any animal in the world, and it's bone crushing. And so them sitting with their mouth open like that, since they are reptiles, ectothermic, meaning they do not generate heat inside their own body, plainly put, cold-blooded. They will absorb warmth from the sun. Well, that's basically saying that they were a little bit too warm, and so that allows a minor amount of heat to escape from their body out of their mouth. They will also go for a swim in order to reduce their body temperature, hit that bump, their body temperature, but most of the time they'll just sit there with their mouth open. On the right hand side, there's a very important tree to the animals we will find below. That tree is called the baobab tree. It's also known as quite a few other nicknames. But these animals below are going to gather their herds and migrate depending on many different reasons, so one of them being water source. So the baobab tree can be known to find about 30,000 gallons of water inside its trunk. So the animals will hit it with their tusks, their horns, their hooves, or maybe even chew on the fibers to break it open to collect the water from inside. And that's where it's got its most popular nickname, the Tree of Life, just like the icon of Animal Kingdom. So we're here in the grasslands, and we've already found our first friend. We found some zebras. These are Hartman's mountain zebra. As we get a little bit closer, they're going to be on the right-hand side. You're going to look at their neck and see that they have a small fold of skin hanging from it. That's going to be called a dewlap. Dewlaps help them to regulate their body temperature. Most animals out here on the savanna or in the grasslands will help regulate their body temperature by circulating blood through extremities, allowing that blood to cool down before bringing it back to their heart and circulating it through the rest of their body. So they are not the only animal to have a dewlap, but they are the only zebra to have it. So that's how we know they are the Hartman's mountain zebra. And you can see out of the four that we have here, one of them is a little bit smaller and lighter in color. That's because he's only about 4 to 5 months old. And whenever he was born, he was able to stand within 5 minutes and walk and run within 15 minutes. His lighter brown color will get darker as he grows older, but over here on the left-hand side, we have an African wild dog pack. A pack of African wild dogs are also known as painted dogs because of their unique markings on the side of their body. No two dogs look exactly alike. Each one is unique in its own way. And all the dogs will say good morning to each other every day. And they have to say good morning, each dog to each dog, and will not continue their day without doing so. And they're actually the most efficient hunter in the savanna, catching 90% of their prey, not 60%, 90% of their prey, which is more efficient than lions and hyenas. It's because of their great communication skills, their endurance, their stamina, their agility even. I mean, they're not the most agile, but they do have some agility, and also the fact that they can have a pack of a couple dozen members. On the left-hand side, there are some small brown antelope and another zebra. Those are called springbok. Springbok are going to be a smaller type of antelope, only getting about 2.5 to 3 feet tall. They get their name from their jumping ability. They jump upwards at 6 feet, forward at 13 feet from a standing still position. So they will be able to jump from one side of the truck through the middle where you guys are sitting and land on the other side with no issue. For reference, where your elbows are sitting on the very edge of the truck is about 6 feet up off the ground. So the springbok are also going to be known as one of the top 10 fastest animals in the world, reaching speeds of 50 to 60 miles an hour, allowing them to evade predators, but also to display for females when it comes to their mating season. The males will do this act called pronking, where they will jump in the air very high, keeping their legs straight, and they will jump back or land back down on the ground, only bending their knees at the last possible second to jump back up in the air again, to show that they have great reaction time, great reflexes, great agility, speed, health, all those wonderful things. So more about the zebra. So the group of zebras is going to be called a dazzle or a zale, or you could call them a herd. And the Hartman's mountain zebra will have one stallion and about 3 to 4 of the mares. And we at the current time, I believe we have 2 stallions, one of them being the alpha, and then 2 females, 2 mares, and then the little one is a boy as well. So I believe the boy that is our dominant, his name is Domino. He is the father of the one that we have right now that's a little baby. Mother's name is Heidi, and the little baby's name is Dash, which is kind of a premonition for his attitude. So he got the name because he has a very nice dash mark on his right hip that matches his mother's. But whenever he was introduced onto the reserve at about 2 months old, he had quite a bit of the feisty attitude and liked to dash around and really cause a ruckus. So much that he would even kind of pout when it was time for him to go back into his private barn at the end of the day, that he would just spend his time dashing around. So he actually had some times where he was not allowed to go out on the reserve as a fear of that he would not go back in stage for a little while. off stage, I mean. On the right hand side, there's some white bearded wildebeest all the way at the top of the hill. They're going to be the second largest herd of mammals in the world, second only to humans. There's about 1.5 million that reside in a megaherd in the savannah that travel anywhere from 500 to 1,000 miles. There's some longhorn cattle in the trees there on the right hand side, and also these lovely Maasai giraffe. You can see that this is one of our lovely ladies here, but we actually have quite a few lovely males, but lovely females, but only one alpha male, and his name is George. George is currently a father. He's actually been a father for quite a while, but if you see all the way through the trees there, the one that there's like 2 on this side of the bushes, and there's one kind of in between them and the 2 there, he's actually going to be a 2-month-old little boy. He looks quite tall right now, but he's actually very, very short. He's only just over 6 foot tall. They're born at 6 feet and can reach up to 18 to 20 feet tall. These are Maasai giraffes, so they have a rough and jagged edge spot. That's how we know they are Maasai giraffe. The little fluffy things on the top of their head are called ossicones. Ossicones help them to regulate their body temperature and allowing them to help keep their bodies cool. They have 7 vertebrae in their neck, and the funny thing is that humans actually have 7 vertebrae in our neck as well. Here on the left hand side we do have the warthog. We have at least 2 lovely warthogs here. So warthogs will go inside of their burrow with their face towards the opening and their butt in the back, so that way if anything comes to bother them they can charge out at about a 35-mile-an-hour speed and tell them to leave them alone with those nice tusks on their face. Well, those tusks, the ones that are pointing out from the bottom of their jaw, are not the ones they need to worry about, or that the thing that is bothering them. This one, I believe, is maybe a female. Yeah, she is a female. She's quite small. She also has some very lovely tusks of hers. She's also by herself, which is pretty uncommon behavior for females. Females will usually gather in their social group, which is called a family herd or a parade or a memory. Over here on the left-hand side, we have a mandrill monkey. Actually, there's quite a few more back. If you look over your left-hand shoulder, there's a couple more back that way. This is one of our, I believe he is a grandpa age male here, but a little bit further back you can see one of the fluffy males. He's got quite the bright blue face and he's got quite a lovely coat. So these mandrills are going to be the type of monkey that Rafiki is. If you are interested in The Lion King, the animated one, they actually animated Rafiki's tail wrong. They are only supposed to have about 2-inch long tails, but Rafiki in the movie has not very long tail, but quite a long tail. So they're going to be the largest monkey in the world. They can weigh up to 100 pounds fully grown, and they will have a small social group. They only gather in about 100 or so, compared to other troops of monkeys that will gather in thousands and thousands. And they do their social grooming just like every other monkey, and they love their members very, very much. And to show that they're happy with each other, they will smile just like the way humans do. They have about 2-inch long incisors that they use to break open fruits and things like that in order to make sure they can keep their bellies full. Now more about the African elephant. So there are 2 different types of 10 to 12 years old. And females could start breeding as soon as that, but the males will not regularly breed with females well into their 30s because they have to fight for the right to mate with females. They have to claim territory, they have to hope the females pass through and are in their season when they pass through, and then hope that they have the chance to be able to have the privilege of being with those females. So the females will have the longest gestation period of any animal on land. They're going to be pregnant for 22 months. One of the longest gestation periods, I think whales, maybe humpback whales have a longer gestation period, but generally speaking, they have one of the longest. We can see our lovely ladies here on the left-hand side. They are throwing some water and dirt on their back. Actually, it looks like it's more mud right now. That's because they are very hot. They're helping reduce their temperature. Throwing that water on them is also going to help, or at least with the muddy water, they will also go and throw just a clump of dirt on their back. It's going to help protect their skin from sun damage and also from bugs as well. They will also fan their ears away from their body, helping reduce their temperature. They can reduce their temperature up to 15 degrees Fahrenheit from that fanning motion. And on the very rare occasion when they're very overheated, they will often go for a swim. Well, not often go for a swim, but sometimes opt in for a swim. So the family herd is going to be led by the matriarch. That's basically the grandma of the group. She's out of her breeding age, and so that's her sole responsibility, is making sure they can travel safely. On the left-hand side, we do have the greater flamingo. The lightest pink of the flamingo species. They are born a gray color. They turn pink as they grow older because they feast on a crustacean called brine shrimp, which is rich in beta-carotene. And a group of flamingos is called a flock or a flamboyance. They do not migrate like other flocks of birds do. They actually stick to their waterway all year round, only leaving if their food source becomes scarce or if their waters become unclean. And some of them are standing in that funny little foot stance. That's actually how they regulate their body temperature. By having both feet in the water, they can keep themselves nice and cool, allowing the nice cold water to rush over their feet. By having a foot tucked up underneath them, they can raise their body temperature. Be the most social of the rhinoceros types, or the rhinoceros species. So the males will weigh anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 pounds, and the females weighing about 3,500 to 4,500 pounds. And the little boy, like I said, he's nearing in about 1,000 pounds, so he's on his way, good and ready to growing up big and strong. On the left-hand side here, I can see 2 cheetahs sleeping on the right-hand side of that one that has a dry kind of brush hanging from the tree.
Over here.
You can see them kind of lounging there. They're not facing towards us, they're kind of facing away. Well, cheetahs are going to be one of the fastest, or the fastest animal on land, and they're going to be one of the few big cats to hunt during the daytime. They only catch about 60% of their prey. They hunt by themselves, and they will usually hunt smaller, medium-sized prey. And they will hunt them from the side, allowing them to take them down by grabbing them by the neck and pinning them down. Instead of a long, drawn-out battle compared to the lion, like here on the left-hand side. Lions will hunt together, and they have a little bit more muscle, a little bit more power behind them, so they're able to hunt in more of that group. Well, the male lion that we see here will not be the one doing the hunting. He will stay back and watch the cubs, while the females do the lionesses will do the hunting. So they hunt at night because they sleep all day long, sleeping about 16 to 20 hours a day, because their eyesight is about the same as yours and mine during the day, but it's improved by 6 times in the nighttime. So the lionesses will go out and hunt, even taking down larger prey depending on how many lionesses join the hunt, taking larger prey down if they have the opportunity to, like maybe water buffalo, maybe even rhinos or hippos, or maybe even small elephants, but typically they'll go after that kind of nice medium size, something that is enough to feed everybody, but not something that's going to be beyond their realm of being able to handle the attack that they're going to have. So the lionesses, the roar of a lion can be heard from about 5 miles away. So the lionesses will roar back to the male, saying, "Bring the cubs, it's dinner time." And you can also hear
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now, a little stronger now. Intertwined, and you're is your choice to make. A little mockery, it won't do.